We made new characters and we're going through the story. It should be a fun time.
Should be real fun.
Should be a real good time. So I made a warlock. I mean a hunter usually, but figure I'd try something else. Try something a little different. So what quest are we on? Let's see. Find out in a second here. What class are you looking most forward to in Destiny 2?
Sentinel, of course.
Oh, you want to be Captain America?
Yeah. Have you ever seen that thing?
Dude.
It's probably the coolest thing about the new game.
Dawnblade looks really, really sick for warlocks. I'm not gonna lie, it's making me wanna change my main a little bit.
Yeah. I wish they would have made more melee-based subclasses for Titans. Seems like something they do.
Make sure the audio is not too high. Turn it down like a little bit more. The hunter class looks pretty sick, the Arc Strider, but that Dawnblade kind of just does it for me. I think I'll definitely probably be playing a hunter in my main time, but probably a warlock on my off time.
And that Cosmodrome is the only place I know where we might still find it.
Well, yeah.
We survived the Fallen once. We can do it again.
I mean, the Arc Strider, like, lightning stuff kind of reminds me of, like, the acrobatic style of Nightwing, which is pretty cool, but just Dawnblade's way too cool.
Ever since I saw Nightwing,
Guardian ship was recently shot down here. The Fallen
Well, Damien's obviously better.
Parts we can salvage.
Alright, I have super fucking glide. I can't fucking jump like a real person yet.
You can't jump like a real person as a warlock anyway.
Yeah, you can get double jump as a warlock. I'm pretty sure you can. Well, shit. Alright, we gotta scan the ship.
The ship's avionics are completely.
See, I remember when I first played this game, you know, there was no expansions, just what came out the game, you know, House of Wolves, Dark Below, and those were cool expansions. For me, I didn't really get into the game till Taken King, because they introduced swords in Taken King, and that really did it for me. I'm a fan of anything with swords, and combining that, like, gunslinging style of an FPS and putting melee weapons in there like that, that's a really, really good combo in my opinion.
I'm always a big fan of playing characters.
A map of the entire area.
Because if you go around punching everybody.
What we really need to find is a warp drive, so we can jump to any planet or moon.
I mean, I definitely prefer swords though. I'm more of a medieval fantasy guy than a sci-fi fantasy guy.
We have to go back.
I'm definitely hoping in Destiny 2 we see a lot more melee specs and more melee fighting styles, more melee options. I'm really excited that they're changing up the weapon types like kinetic and stuff like that. So, if I can just use a sword all the time, I'm down for that.
I think you have a real nice, diverse loadout. I don't feel about this sword yet.
I don't see anything. Oh. I don't even know how you get up there. Okay. I mean, as a warlock, it's I just float everywhere, so it's.
That's how it should be. Looks like they also got rid of the Titan's Gate. You still have one.
Titan's Gate.
Yeah, like if you do it right, you can just skate really quickly.
I gotcha. Oh. I got Vector Oath.
Bad news. It's already in Fallen hands.
There we go. Now I'm ready.
I hope you're ready for this.
So when did you first play Destiny? What was your first Destiny experience?
I thought it was the first thing out. I was getting it
Were you really hyped when this was released at E3?
I was really hyped when they released the new
I remember watching the E3 for this video, and my first thought was like, oh, another Halo game, because, you know, Halo's fun to play with your friends, but I'm not a fan typically. But, you know, I watched like the first, you know, 10 minutes of gameplay, and like, I was pretty entranced by it. The lighting itself was beautiful. That very beginning part, you know, where like you walk into the dark room, and the ghost kind of lights up the area and kind of surveys it, like that was impressive to me. It's not easy doing stuff like that, so like, seeing the capabilities like that. Oh no, no, no.
on this side. Oh boy, yeah.
Oh, I hate the Warlock float. So did you play Titan immediately when you first got the game, or did you, Oh shit, it's got fucked too.
Titans can do a flying knee and a shoulder charge. Why wouldn't I play that ever?
You just killed an Archon,
I just always play Titan.
and we got a warp drive.
Basically every game I play, I always go for like the stealthy rogue type, and so the hunter is just a logical choice for me.
Have you ever snuck around as a Titan? It's exhilarating.
Oh, I'm sure everyone can, but I mean, it's just, you know, they're not that rogue archetype typically, and that's what I go for in video games, it's just that rogue type typically. It's like that.
A rogue except the one I was playing Havoc.
Yeah. Oh, another hand cannon.
Oh, another hand cannon.
I think it's like this on par with what I'm using. Oh no, it's actually a little bit better. That's cool.
I just want to only ever use auto rifles. That's my goal.
I really like hand cannons. I wish they were better, but I enjoy them a lot. Oh, I'm a leader. I have to say continue.
I just want to be the only one who's ever running with a hard light. I want to be worthy of hard light.
Oh yeah.
They say that if you're worthy of hard light, you just get hard light for free.
I think Hardlight was actually my first exotic weapon, and I was just super impressed by it. It was so fast, and the bouncy bullets were awesome.
Oh yeah. I think my first one was the last word. I did not like it at first.
I've always enjoyed it. It took me a long time to get it, actually, though. I was way behind in getting it. I didn't get it till like Rise of Iron came out, and I was just farming exotics off of what's his name? Xur. And I finally got the year 1, which unlocks the year 2, so...
Yeah, I just was, I just had bad luck with that stuff. Xur never gave me anything good, or never had anything good for me, and then I just never got any exotics when they were out. It was just the saddest thing.
Sure, sure.
Also, one thing I'm glad about for the second game is that they're getting rid of the whole go into orbit just to fly down the...
Oh, yeah. I've never really, like, disliked it per se, but it does kind of bog down a smooth gameplay transition. It's good that in Taken King they kind of picked up on that, because they started doing it to where, you know, some quests you didn't have to go back to the tower for. You just kind of would go to the next point or it'd unlock or whatever, and that was really good.
Yeah. I think a lot of things got better after Taken King.
It was definitely my favorite expansion. I mean, it added swords, which, you know, like I said, I'm a big fan of. the exotic sword quest was grindy, but you know I did all 3 of them and it was totally worth it. They're fun weapons, and I still think they're good for this current expansion as well.
I think my least favorite part of the sword mission was doing the Crucible stuff. 'Cause it seemed like at the time when it came out, everybody was doing it, so you could never actually get anything done.
There used to be, I don't know if I call it a bug or like a loophole or whatever, but you used to be able to just kill people with the hilts of your sword, like even if you had no ammo for it, and it would still count as killing people with your sword. They fixed that, of course, but
Oh, did they? Yeah, because I thought it was supposed to be there because everybody was doing that. Like I did that to level up the.
oh yeah, no, I'd walk in the Crucible and like everybody's just like hitting each other with like broken swords, and it's just like, what is going on?
Like, where is this quest? And how can I get on it?
Right. I actually really enjoyed kind of just like sneaking around though. I mean, like, I think getting heavy ammo is the hardest part in Crucible because you have those one-track mind people who don't think about it, and they're like, they see the heavy ammo cache, so they grab it immediately, and they don't wait for their team to get there. And so I think that was just the hardest part, is getting heavy ammo for your sword. But once I got it, I never had a problem getting kills with it. I always did the crouch around and sneak method, so just like crouch around walking behind corners, and I'd see someone coming, so I just immediately kill him really fast.
I think majority of my time utilizing the sword was spent, like, I'd get the heavy ammo and then it'd be immediately gone because I'd have to defend against somebody's rocket launcher. Whoever just didn't like that people were doing like that.
Right. I never defended much against rocket launchers in Crucible. Probably would have survived a lot more if I did, but I always just tried to. I always brought a sword to a rocket launcher fight, basically. I'd see people with a rocket launcher instead. I hide behind corners, so I decided to just run for it and kill them before they kill
There are
me.
reports that the Fallen back at the
Oh, the
Cosmodrome
soldier
keep
main.
a pretty tight crowd on the old Skywatch.
No, man, it's the Genji main. Like, I just pull out my sword and go, you know?
The speaker's asking Guardians to look into it.
Speaking of Overwatch, we do streams every weekend, or at least try to, so tune in for that also if you want to watch us be newbie and kind of just like mess around Overwatch. Oh, yeah.
Okay, the Skywatch is just on the other side of the steps.
I'm very disappointed. You know, I want him to be like the dragon character in Paladins, you know? His ult is amazing, because you literally just have to hit somebody with a... He flies towards him with a punch, and if he connects, it's like a one-hit kill. I just want some one-punch man action going on Overwatch as well.
Well, if you do it right, if you line up your shots right.
This place must have been amazing.
Yeah, he does have a charge ability similar to it. I don't know the damage on it though. I don't know if it's like a one-shot kill for everybody, or if it's just mostly squishies.
You can get a full charge into a wall.
Right, so it's a lot like Reinhardt's charge at that point.
Yeah, like you can generally like everybody.
Gotcha.
Up the hill. The building with the radar? That's the
Healers
Skywatch.
don't really stand a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, can we just go there?
I believe so. I can't summon my...
Yeah, knock our vehicle.
Yeah, I can't use my Sparrow right now. I guess we have to unlock the Sparrow.
Yeah, I just went over to that road. There's nothing there.
Well, my map cursor says to go this way, so I'm gonna go this way.
So much has changed.
Yeah, it's definitely different from my first Destiny experience. One of my fondest memories and most frustrating is the very first time I went in the Crucible, and I don't know what it was, but back then I was just so bad at Crucible, and of course later I found out it wasn't necessarily me. It was just like everyone in Crucible like did Crucible exclusively and had all these amazing guns for Crucible, and so like I just couldn't get anything in like edgewise. Just, it wasn't gonna happen. That is one thing I wish was different about this game, and then they've tried to balance it, but one thing I dislike about Crucible is that you basically need the right gun, or you're, you know, it's going to come down to raw skill at that point. You got to get the drop on somebody, or, you know, you've just got to be that much better. But, you know, if you have certain guns in Crucible, like, you just clean up, and I think in the game where the whole point of Crucible, I think, is PvP, so it should be balanced. It should be like skill versus skill. I mean, that kind of breaks the mold a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I think, have you heard about some of those changes that they're implementing? Like, as far as weapons go, they're making it so that the named weapons, like, you know, the last word, for example, the hand cannon, they used to just debuff or buff or debuff all the weapons of that type so that they could try to balance things out so certain guns would lose out. But they're making every gun do the exact same stat. So you can't get any guns that are super different. Trying to balance all of that.
Well, that's kind of worrisome, though. I mean, it sounds like it's losing some individuality as well. Yeah, I always worry about when a balance like that happens, is where, you know, it just kind of depletes the purpose. You know, in this game, when you do raids and stuff like that, you know, when you get the best gun for the expansion, like, it feels good to have it, but if they make everything kind of the same, then that's kind of, I don't know, it might kind of defeat the purpose a little bit, I feel. You want to be rewarded for your hard work, you know, you want to be like, it was worth doing this thing I did. Speaking of raids, though, it's so awesome there's a raid finder now in Destiny 2. I would say for me, one of the most frustrating things is, you know, not having a lot of friends who play the game, so I don't get to do in-content very much. So being able to queue up to do that, and so that I can enjoy the game for what it is, you know, that's definitely worth it in my opinion.
I definitely felt like the only reason why I did a lot of the stuff I did was because
I haven't been on Earth in centuries.
Because of the
darkness could be a lot closer than
having
you think.
friends over the game. If I didn't have a lot of people to play with, then I wouldn't have done very many things.
Sure, yeah. Oh, hey, Nova Bomb. There we go. Oh, that was it? That was what we were supposed to do?
Yeah, kill the wizard.
No, well, alright then.
Ooh, a lot of rifle. It's like the game is telling me something.
I got a scout rifle.
Oh, you see this? I already replaced these ones.
I really just hope that in Destiny 2 we don't run into the problems you have in World of Warcraft, where queuing for raids is actually more trouble than it's worth. You have all these douchey people and this elitist attitude going on, and just no one has fun, and people sign in just to troll, basically. And I hope that they implement something to kind of, you know, have a failsafe for people like that. Some people just want to watch the world burn, you know?
Like LFG and then also Raid Finder. So that way people can just be like, oh man, I get to choose my people. Or rather, Raid Finder, we're just going to pick them for you.
Yeah, that's also possible.
I know that there's some people who just didn't like Destiny in particular because they had a specific meta, like having Gjallarhorn in a raid team meant that you were actually worth keeping versus people who didn't have Gjallarhorn because they haven't been able to get into the raids.
Right. I think I'm gonna do the War Mine before we go back to the tower. Just get everything done at once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, the first time I heard about, like, Destiny, I didn't really get into it, you know, I played the original version of it, it was alright, you know, I actually enjoyed it, it was fun, but I didn't get into it until Taken King came out. But when I just heard the concept of, like, an FPS game with raids, and there's just, like, that people were that picky about who gets to be in the raid, it's just like, how do you know, it's a very simple concept, you just point and shoot, so, like, how can you be that judgmental, you know?
We should probably find it first.
And like these types of games seem to be like just popping up all over. With like Division that came out, like that game was fun, but then like you found out that there was a specific gun that you could have and upgrade it in a specific way, and then nobody would kill you, not even players.
Yeah.
Like, it's this kinds of things where like the
I'm picking
balancing
up
is
heavy
way too
fallen
hard.
activity near the Forgotten Shore. But that's
It's
miles
true,
from here.
yeah.
Guardian
Me
signals
personally,
appear
I'm not even really a big,
We
you know,
seized that
FPS fan.
sudden transport from our ship.
This is one of those rare games I really have enjoyed over the years. But I think the reason why I enjoy it is because it does do a really good job of, you know, implementing the fantasy aspect as well as the sci-fi aspect, as well as the FPS aspect, and it's a really good blend. I enjoy the little things, you know, like there's monsters named after like mythical creatures, you know, like that's amazing. They're aliens, sure, but it's still cool just seeing that.
Yeah.
And you know, further adding swords, like yeah, they're futuristic swords, sure, but I mean they're still swords, and that just it really seals the fantasy aspect for me, and that's what draws me to this game.
Yeah, I can see that. I think this game is really just one of those
states.
step in the right direction, but they had a lot of work to do. It's very ambitious.
It was super ambitious when it first came out, that's for sure. Oh, we have our vehicles now. You know, I think a lot of people had the same kind of fear that I did, you know, where, or maybe not fear, but first impression where they're just like, oh, it's another Halo game. And while Halo does have a good fan base, you know, if you enjoy it, great, hats off to you. But I think when you go into something looking at it, it's just like another one of this game, then, you know, enthusiasm kind of wanes a little bit. But I'm glad this isn't just another Halo game. I'm glad they combine elements really, really well. Oh, I'm so bad jumping as a Warlock.
I figured it out. I used to be really bad. Then I figured out how to play it. Like I said, that's where I started.
Gotcha, yeah. Oh, I'm sure 90% of like my play on this character is just gonna be like trying to jump up a wall or something like that.
I think that's the majority of it.
We're approaching the shore. The Fallen are using some
I mean, at
sort
least
of
you'll get a real
signal
jump
amplifiers.
eventually.
Let's see what they're transmitting.
I'll just be stuck with this glidey thing.
I only get my jetpacks.
Yeah.
Get like, and I guess I could upgrade my jetpacks so they're on my list.
That's true. Am I supposed to have a rocket launcher already? Because I do.
Yeah, that last mission, you got it from my golden shot.
Gotcha.
I think it's like the most excitement when you're doing the fishing from your figuring well off jumping puzzles with glides and
Oh, yeah. I hate platformers. I'm terrible at them, and I find them so annoying and tedious, and, you know, the jumping puzzles in Taken King Raid, for example, like, I can't imagine doing it on anything but a Hunter, because I have that level of control for my jumps. And even then it was difficult, so I can't imagine doing it on the character like this.
The same transmission.
yeah, the Titans end up like because they actually lose their
Linked to something in
jetpack
Skywatch.
weapons
Let's
sometimes
check it out.
gliding. But the other ones, like the Warlocks, don't really lose their glides so much as they just start defending. So one of those things where you when you're doing those jumping puzzles and you miss, you actually end up really floating down to a death. And,
Yeah, it seems like when you fuck up on like a Titan or a Warlock, you have to like, kind of like watch yourself fuck up the entire time. It's not abruptly, you just die. It's not like to watch myself fail basically until I finally die.
Are you supposed to go down there?
I think so, yeah. We're supposed to go down to the bunker.
This way.
Oh no, we're not going supposed to go into the bunker yet. That's another mission I'm thinking of. Oh, I guess I keep forgetting I have my Sparrow now.
Oh, hey, we can get our other...
Oh, I fall in the water. Okay, I'm alive. Oh, I see this back here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Hey, my first green gun. It is a pulse rifle. I'll take it. I like pulse rifles. I'll take it.
I'm just bummed out. I want to be worthy.
I want to be worthy. You can get a hard light from this area? Are you talking about hard light? You can get hard light from this area?
Yeah, I was saying you can get up the mountain from this area.
Oh.
Yeah. I just gotta try to remember where that last one.
I mean, I didn't even pay attention to golden chests my first time through. It was just not something I thought about. I'm not super into collectibles like that.
Useful to get them, like, on your first playthrough, like, while
Yeah. It's fun you got them, but like they're not anything worth like having.
Yeah, they literally are like the same thing no matter what. Or where you go.
Which is, you know, kind of sucky because it'd be nice if they kind of scaled a little bit. Oh, alright, well, it's okay.
Oh, okay, well, geez. That was awkward.
The Fallen are tapped into something in the back of the room.
Oh god. I have a fond memory of Crucible where I made my first Warlock and just, you know, Nova bombed all 6 of their teammates on point, and just it was hilarious that a level 8 character like me could kill like up 6 level 40s with Dalt.
That's one of the reasons why I was so into Crucible, is because you could play it at any level. And, like your level, like basically the only thing holding you back after your level was like kept you from having certain
The Fallen are
abilities.
trying to access these.
For certain guns, especially certain guns. I mean, when your guns are bad, your guns are bad.
Yeah.
Can't wait till I get to use swords again. Yeah, I guess I could, that is true. I could get the exotic versions of my swords I use in my hunter a lot. I think that's an example of, you know, rewarding basically is, you know, it was grindy as hell doing all those sword quests and taking king, but now I have them all my characters. They didn't have it back then, you said?
Yeah, that little vault,
Oh.
Because they did the app and we were like, yeah, this is still a little too complicated, why not just make it so I earned it?
Right. I just remember people trying to use the app and it just not working and everyone getting pissed off in raid.
We should
Yeah.
destroy this thing.
I remember when I first learned about the app, like that app actually gave me so much trouble.
Hey, there we go.
They didn't get much.
Level
Kept hitting an
5.
active fire.
What?
Old Earth. Russian.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Oops, I threw a grenade on accident.
Legends are true. A war mine did survive the collapse. Rasputin. An AI.
Now I have a
built
special
to defend
melee
Earth.
attack.
He faced the darkness and survived. And he's protecting something here in the Cosmodrome. We have to find a way to reach him.
Oh yeah, fusion rifles. I love those things.
Yeah, I think was it the Vex Mythicast?
Ooh, he just barely beat me.
Yeah, because I am pro. See how much I beat you on the other scores. I got more kills and more. Oh, you generated more orbs than me. I don't know how that works.
Oh, well, you know, it's because I'm better than you, probably.
Who you'd hope.
If I had to
Oh,
guess.
Yes. I'm gonna only wear these greens.
That's a much better bond.
I think one of my favorite parts about leveling up a new person is just about like how they all always have like a set for the new people.
Yeah.
Like I got a Gamma Type Zeros and they actually like go together. It was like they look nice. I like having sets that look really nice that you don't have to go through raids to get.
Mm-hmm. I think it's part of the fun of higher levels is finding out what armor you like wearing, and the fact you really can wear whatever you want as long as it provides a certain amount of stats, and you can boost the light level of it, and that's important. Like, for me, a big part for me is always customizing your character and making it look how you want it to look. That's a big thing to me.
Yeah, being able to get all that cool armor. I think adding that one bit in it was after the Taken King, but not quite Rise of Iron. They added that part where the legendaries had the infusing, or maybe it was during Taken King. I don't know.
Yeah, infusion is definitely an important thing.
That way you can actually have your the kind of gun you want, or weapons and armor you want.
Exactly. Speaking of having all the guns and weapons you want, I think it's it for this episode. But hey, if you liked it, you learned something, you enjoyed it, whatever, stay tuned for the next episode.